coming up on Retirement Solutions Television.
We're going to be talking about how you can take advantage of them. Coming up in this segment, we're going to reveal more tax strategies that are used by the mega wealthy that could help you save tens of thousands of dollars every single year. Here's the important thing is you may have spent the last 25, 35, 45 years working, and if you are not a tax expert, what you need to do is you need to partner with a qualified tax professional. Now this is going to cost you a little bit of money, but the money is well spent because what it can do is it can help you understand the strategies and have a game plan. You can see that this gets really complicated, and the way that you pay taxes, how you receive income, totally changes from when you were working. When you're focused on retirement, the ball game changes. You've got to be prepared for it.
And now your hosts of Retirement Solutions Television, the Retirement Brothers, Tyson and Ryan Thacker.
Welcome to Retirement Solutions Television. I'm Tyson Thacker along with my brother Ryan Thacker.
We've got a great show for you today. It starts right here, right now.
Welcome back. According to Motley Fool, Warren Buffett made $11.6 million in gross income last year, right?
That's not chump change.
That's not chump change. Yet he only paid $1.85 million in federal taxes, which is 16%. Now, if that seems low to you, consider he also increased his net worth by $12 billion.
That's billion with a B.
According to Motley Fool, his effective tax rate as a percentage of his wealth was less than 1%. Now you're probably wondering, how does this guy pull it off? Many Americans who are the wealthiest individuals use the tax laws to their benefit, and as a result, they get away with paying a fraction of their fair share of taxes. In some cases, it's lower than the middle class. But some of these taxes don't just favor the rich. They could benefit you too, and we're going to be talking about how you can take advantage of them. Coming up in this segment, we're going to reveal more tax strategies that are used by the mega wealthy that could help you save tens of thousands of dollars every single year. And Ryan, with that, you know, there are so many pieces of the puzzle that we could be talking about here, but let's talk first about the difference between forward-looking and looking in the rearview mirror.
Well, most of you have a CPA or some type of tax professional that will help you prepare your taxes. And one of the most common mistakes that we see is that a CPA is always looking in the rearview mirror. Think about it. When it comes to tax time, you sit down with your CPA, you bring in your W-2s, maybe some 1099s, and the CPA asks you questions about what happened last year. Now, the challenge with this is it creates a blind spot. And the blind spot is because you do not have a forward-looking tax strategy. Tyson, what's the difference between looking in the rearview mirror and looking out in the future? Why is that important?
Well, looking in the rearview mirror helps you to get some deductions in the year of the tax break.
And that's what most are trained to think.
That's what they're focused on. That's how a CPA thinks is, let's get as many deductions as we can, right? Mm-hmm. They're concerned that when the consumer is looking at their tax bill that it's going to be too high, so they want to reduce that.
Thinking tax deductions today, but not necessarily in the future.
You got it. We're focused on the future. We obviously want you to pay as little in taxes now as you can, but we want everyone to be able to pay less in taxes in the future because people are setting aside that money in their retirement accounts, and the more that they set aside in those retirement accounts, the bigger the problem becomes.
That's exactly right. And you may be thinking, well, how does this apply to me? What we recommend is that you have a tax strategist. Now, we're not CPAs or tax professionals, so we work with your team or we work with a great team of tax professionals at Boss Retirement Solutions. But what you can do is you can create a forward-looking tax strategy. When you have a forward-looking tax strategy, you can look at ways that you can help position and properly get your assets into the right area so that you can make a minimization of taxes. And it's not possible for everybody to do that, but it comes down to planning and strategy. What I can tell you won't work is by just sitting there and not taking action. You need to have a plan to be able to take care of this.
Well, most people don't have any strategy, right? That's really the problem, is that they're so focused on saving money in that tax year, they're not worried at all about 10, 20, 30 years down the road when they've got all this money that they need to start paying in taxes. They've deferred the taxes all the way through their working life, and then all of a sudden, bam, you've got a big tax bill that you didn't even know was going to hit you.
And so you need to be thinking about what type of accounts you have, whether they're pre-tax accounts, because what all you've done in a pre-tax account is you've paid money, you have not paid any taxes on it, it's grown tax deferred, and 100% of that, when it comes out of those retirement accounts, is taxable. Now, there are many key components to a comprehensive retirement game plan. Claiming your Social Security benefits, generating income, reducing your fees and expenses, and minimizing your risk, longevity, and even inflation. But one of the most overlooked components that could save you thousands of dollars is taxes.
And most people don't even think about it again, right?
That's exactly right. Let us prove to you how you could save tens of thousands of dollars in taxes with what we call our Boss Retirement Blueprint. We'll keep it short and simple, and we only focus on the most critical components that could help your money go further in retirement. If you've saved at least $200,000 for retirement, be one of the first 10 callers right now to schedule this initial analysis. Call us at 801-610-1234. There's no cost, so you've got nothing to lose. Give us a call right now.
How do the uber rich pay fewer taxes than you? We're going to reveal more of the strategies that could save you thousands coming up next.
You're watching Retirement Solutions Television, Utah's Retirement TV.
You made it. Years of hard work, investing, planning, and now you're here. The long-awaited reward you spent a lifetime looking forward to. But what now? After years of growing a nest egg, now you may want to manage it. Use it to fund your dreams. Make it last as long as you need it. And leave some for those you love. So what do? Wall Street continues to be uncertain, and some conservative options have dropped through the floor. How do you maintain opportunities for growth and reduce risk of loss from market changes? That's where we come in. We are financial professionals. From investments and insurance products to tax reduction strategies and guaranteed retirement income you cannot outlive, provided by the claims-paying ability of insurance companies. You've worked a lifetime to get here. Let us help you enjoy it to the fullest. For a complimentary consultation, simply contact us today.
You're watching Retirement Solutions Television, Utah's Retirement TV.
You know, Tyson, according to Motley Fool, Warren Buffett increased his wealth by $12 billion.
That's with a B.
And that was just in 2016. Yet his effective tax rate, when you consider all of his assets, was less than 1%. Warren Buffett is just one example of America's mega wealthy who legally get away with paying a fraction of their fair share in taxes. But what may surprise you is this. It is that many of the tax secrets just don't favor the rich. They could benefit you as well. And coming up in this segment, we're going to reveal more tax strategies that are used by the mega wealthy that could help you save tens of thousands of dollars every single year. And Tyson, we just recently have been working on our homes, right?
That's right.
Doing some improvement on our houses. And Tyson, we took a test when it comes to using power tools. What did that test tell us, and how does that relate to taxes?
We took a test called the Colby test, and it looks at what your natural abilities are. And as it relates to do-it-yourself projects, it basically said that we should never pick up a power tool with these hands. That's what I tell my wife anyway.
Avoid the stress of using power tools.
That's right. And so retirement today is not a do-it-yourself project either. You've got to have a professional or a team of professionals. They're going to help you to understand how and when to take income, but especially as we're talking about on today's show, what we need to do as it relates to taxes. Because if you look at what's going on with taxes, you don't have time. It takes about 10,000 hours, right, for somebody to become an expert at something. So you've become an expert at whatever you do in your career, but you don't have another 10,000 hours to make sure that you understand all of the tax ramifications as it relates to retirement.
So when it comes to the mega wealthy, the way that you can mimic what they're doing is this very basic step. Number one is understand where you are in your individual situation, because having a plan, that's what the mega wealthy do, is they have a plan, they have strategies. And here's the important thing is you may have spent the last 25, 35, 45 years working. And if you are not a tax expert, what you need to do is you need to partner with a qualified tax professional. Now, this is going to cost you a little bit of money, but the money is well spent, because what it can do is it can help you understand the strategies and have a game plan. And you know, when you look at this and when you look at all of the tax code, many pages riddled with trap doors, if you do not have a plan and have a strategy, I can tell you this, you're going to pay more than your fair share of taxes.
Well, and one of the things that we tell everyone when they come through the door and they have an aha moment as it relates to their own taxes, we say, see, what you don't know can hurt you. This becomes such an imperative piece of the equation to ensure that you're doing the right things at the right times as it relates to your retirement. Just one of them is that you need to not only focus on the now, but like we talked about in our last segment, have that forward-looking tax strategy. What else do we need to focus on, Ryan?
Well, there's 3 buckets when it comes to retirement when you think of your money. One is a taxable bucket. Bucket number 2 is a tax deferred. That's where most of you watching today, where your money will be.
That's right.
And the 3rd bucket is a tax-free bucket. The goal is to always get as much money as you can into that tax-free bucket, like a Roth, and we'll give some more examples as we talk here on the TV show today. But this is about having a plan and having a strategy. And first of all, you need to know where your money is today.
If you've saved $500,000 as an example in an IRA or a 401k, you know it's not really $500,000, right?
Uncle Sam's going to take his chunk.
He wants his piece. Because you still have to pay taxes on this money, but here's something that will shock you. Some people will pay through the nose in taxes when they withdraw this money from their retirement accounts, while a smart and savvy few will legally pay far less. Let us prove how you could save tens of thousands of dollars in taxes with our Boss Retirement Blueprint. We like to keep it simple. We like to keep it short, and it won't cost you a dime. We will only focus on the most critical components that could help you and your money go further in retirement. So if you've saved at least $200,000 for retirement, be one of the first 10 callers to schedule your initial analysis now at 801-610-1234. It's up to you. Pay the IRS or keep this money for yourself. Call 801-610-1234.
Folks, we're just getting started. Some people will pay through the nose in taxes in retirement, while a smart and savvy few will pay far less. Coming up in the next segment, we'll reveal more tax strategies that benefit the uber rich that are also available to you. Join us after the break.
You're watching Retirement Solutions Television, Utah's Retirement TV.
People ask me all the time why I got into this business, and there was 2 reasons. Number 1, I wanted to make a difference in people's lives, and this is such a fun thing to see people's lives change as they are able to retire and really live their dreams. Number 2, I really wanted to do something that I could stay close to home. I was born and raised right here at the Contwood Hospital in Murray, Utah, and lived in Utah my entire life. It's something that I always had a goal to stay in Utah because of the lifestyle, because of the mountains being so close, the family atmosphere. Love living in Utah. We do have a big family. I come from a family of 7 kids. My mom was raised in Murray, Utah. My dad grew up in Heber. Both of them are through and through the best people that you'll ever meet. Our mom is someone without guile. Our dad is a humble man who loves people. And together they're a powerful match that taught us great values and really taught us how to love and how to be together and what the difference it makes when people are a part of your life. It's such a family-centered culture, and that's why I love being in Utah.
You're watching Retirement Solutions Television, Utah's Retirement TV.
Welcome back. I'm Tyson Thacker along with my brother Ryan, and you're watching Retirement Solutions TV. Many of America's mega wealthy use the tax laws to their benefit, and as a result, they get away with paying a fraction of their fair share in taxes. But some of these taxes don't just benefit the rich, they could benefit you too. You're just not taking advantage of them. Coming up in this segment, we're going to reveal more of the strategies that are used by the mega wealthy that could help you save tens of thousands of dollars every single year. And Ryan, there's a great quote that we just found about this. Why don't you talk about that a little bit?
That's right. This quote is from AARP. This is from Ed Slott, considered to be one of the foremost tax advisors when it comes to retirement planning. He said this: the tax return changes drastically when you go from working mode to retirement mode. And what Ed Slott is talking about here is it is not the same old ball game anymore. You need to be able to adjust. When you get into retirement, you can't continue to operate as business as usual. Besides, every day's Saturday and you're going to enjoy retirement, right?
That's right. When you spend the most money is always on a Saturday before you retire. And when you retire, it feels like every day's Saturday because you've got all the time in the world to be able to spend that money going to Home Depot, buying that latest tech gadget, whatever it is. And the reality becomes that you need to focus on what you're going to do as it relates to a tax strategy. Think of the first thing that we want to bring up here. Many of your deductions probably have gone away, right?
That's right. The house is usually paid off. There's no more kids. We may have some boomerang kids, but guess what? They're
Still
too
can't
old,
take them as
too old to take as
anyway.
deductions. And so these deductions, as they disappear, what that means to you is that oftentimes it forces you in a higher tax bracket. We have school teachers. We have regular everyday Americans that are planning on being in a lower tax bracket when they retire, but the reality is they're not. And here's what you need to do is you need to be able to understand and have this forward-looking tax strategy, because you may be in a higher tax bracket when you retire. Now, the myth was always this. This is what we hear over and over
For
again.
the last 20, 30 years, right?
You're going to put this money in pre-tax into your 401k. It's going to grow tax deferred. And when you get to retirement, you're going to be in a
lower tax bracket. It hasn't happened though. Everybody, in fact, there's a lot of advisors now that are starting to change their tune. They're recognizing that this is not actually happening. Even though we're in lower tax brackets than we've been in the last 50 years, people, once they retire, recognize because of that lack of deduction, because they're taking income in a different way, they're taking money out of a qualified account instead of focusing on getting that paycheck every single week and having those deductions, that becomes a pretty big deal. The third thing that we really want to address is how Social Security plays a role. When you start taking Social Security, it really can change the tax, how you take your money and the taxes that you pay on it, right?
That's right. We call this the ton of bricks. And you do not want to get hit by a ton of bricks. And the reason why is there's this word called provisional income. What we invite you to do is talk with a qualified tax professional about provisional income. The reason why this word is so important for you to know and understand is because what it means is as much as 85%, that's right, 85% of your Social Security benefit could be retaxed. You thought that you paid all of your money going into retirement you've already paid the taxes, right? But the reality is you could be taxed as much as 85% when it comes to Social Security. So the source of income really matters, and that's a big deal.
It's huge. So there are many components to a comprehensive retirement game plan, right?
That's exactly right. And claiming your Social Security benefits, generating income, reducing your fees and expenses, minimizing your risk, worrying about running out of money and longevity and inflation. But one of the most overlooked components that could save you thousands of dollars is taxes. Let us prove it to you by how you could save tens of thousands of dollars in taxes with what we call the Boss Retirement Blueprint. We'll keep it short and simple, and we focus only on the most critical components that could help your money go further in retirement. If you've saved at least $200,000 for retirement, be one of the first 10 callers to schedule your initial analysis right now. Give us a call at the number on the screen, 801-610-1234. There's no cost, so you've got nothing to lose. Give us a call right now.
What could you learn from the mega wealthy about paying fewer taxes in retirement? We're going to reveal more of the answers coming up next.
You're watching Retirement Solutions Television, Utah's Retirement TV.
It's your retirement. How will you live it? How will you be remembered?
Will you be able to take me on vacation?
Will you be there for my ball games?
Will you teach me your values? You'll be able to play with me.
Oh, help me go to college. How will I remember you?
Have the retirement you dream about. Ask bossretirement.com.
You're watching Retirement Solutions Television, Utah's Retirement TV.
Welcome back. I'm Ryan Thacker along with my brother Tyson, and you're watching Retirement Solutions Television. It's been reported that Americans will overpay their taxes to the tune of $1 billion every year.
Crazy.
That's $1 billion with a B. Are you needlessly writing a check to the IRS every year when you could keep more of this money for yourself? This may shock you, but you have much more control over how much you'll pay in taxes in retirement, more than any other time in your life. Coming up in this segment, we'll reveal more tax strategies that are used by the mega wealthy that could save you tens of thousands of dollars every single year. Tyson, let's talk about this very important issue when it comes to taxes. If you're watching the show today, how can viewers be able to mimic the same thing?
Well, let's just use an example. All right, let's say that one of you out there has $500,000 that has been saved into an IRA or a 401k, you name it. And the reality is that not all of that money is theirs, right?
And how come?
It's because a lot of that has to go to the IRS. The government wants their piece. They always want to focus on your success and take a piece of that.
So we call it the alphabet soup, right? 401ks, IRAs, TSPs, 403Bs, 457, all of those alphabet soup, you've put them in pre-tax, it's been growing tax deferred, now it's time to get the money. So if you had $500,000 and you're in a 33% bracket, how much money are you going to have left after Uncle Sam takes his chunk?
Give or take, it's going to be right around $335. That's about a 33% tax bracket.
Wow.
And so you think about how much money that you started with, but how much money you only have to be able to live off of, it's a big deal.
So the mistake is that you may only have a fraction of what you're planning on to spend in retirement. And I think sometimes we forget that, right? As we're going through retirement, we're thinking, I've got this big chunk of money, 500,000, a million, whatever the number is, it's not important. If it's in one of the pre-tax accounts, you have to pay your fair share of taxes, and having a plan and having a strategy is very important with that. You know, I think the other thing that we see, besides knowing that you don't have, you know, this isn't your money in retirement, is the fact that a lot of you get to retirement and they're like, I'm going to start a new business and I want to be able to, you know, have a woodworking business.
It's natural when you think about what you're good at, what you've maybe used as a hobby, and you say, I love it so much, I really want to create a new income as it relates to retirement, right?
And the challenge here is you may be forced to do something that you've never done before, and that's to start paying taxes quarterly. And what happens with that is you may have been W-2 your whole career, and now all of a sudden you're forced to start making quarterly payments, and that can be a big adjustment because you're not used to that from a cash flow perspective. You're just used to having it automatically deducted, then maybe paying a little bit more, getting a refund at the end of the year, but not quarterly. And so that's another thing that we find with our families.
So you can see that this gets really complicated, and the way that you pay taxes, how you receive income, totally changes from when you were working. When you're focused on retirement, the ball game changes. You've got to be prepared for it. And so the last thing that I would say is you've got to use a qualified professional to help you to really focus on the right things at the right time, right?
Absolutely. Because what a qualified professional can do is a CPA, for example, can help you understand where your taxes were in the past. We hand in our W-2s, our 1099s, they can help you understand that. But what you need in addition to that is a qualified tax strategist, someone who can help you look at the potential pitfalls and understand what you're going to be facing and create a forward-looking tax strategy. Because this forward-looking tax strategy, the reason why it's so important is because if you're 62, 63 years old, you can start planning for those required minimum distributions. You can have a plan for what am I going to do, how am I going to withdraw my money from which accounts? Do I take it from a Roth account? Do I take it from a 401k account?
It's all part of the planning, right?
That's right. So remember, if you've saved $500,000 in an IRA or 401k,
You know that that's not really $500,000, right? Because you still have to pay taxes on this money.
Yep.
But here's something that will shock you. Some people will pay through the nose in taxes when they withdraw this money from their retirement accounts, while a smart and savvy few will legally pay far less. Let us prove to you how you could save tens of thousands of dollars in taxes with our Boss Retirement Blueprint. We like to keep it simple, we like to keep it short, and it doesn't cost a dime, and we only focus on the most critical components that could help your money go further all the way through retirement. So if you've saved at least $200,000 for retirement, be one of the first 10 callers scheduled for your initial analysis now at 801-610-1234. It's up to you. Pay the IRS or keep that money for yourself, right? Call 801-610-1234. We'll see you next week.
You're watching Retirement Solutions Television, Utah's Retirement TV.
You're on the back nine heading for the clubhouse. Your dreams of spending time with family and enjoying retirement are just within reach. What happens if you end up in the rough? In these uncertain times, it's crucial to be prepared with sound advice. Boss Retirement Solutions is one of Utah's premier retirement planning specialists. For a complimentary consultation, call 801-610-1234. Boss Retirement Solutions. Plan to retire well.
You're watching Retirement Solutions Television, Utah's Retirement TV.
Thanks for watching today's show. If you'd like to start a conversation, give us a call or go to our website. We'd be happy to talk to you.
remember, retiring successfully doesn't happen by accident. We'll see you next week.